How's it going, everybody? My name is Breezy and welcome back to the channel. How are you? I hope you're doing very, very well. It is, of course, that time to delve into the Twitch save and talk about our current adventure with Brighton and Hove Albion. However, before we go any further, you know what's coming. I'm going to ask you, if you haven't already, do please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video as well. Also, once we've talked through everything that's happened in the most recent season over on Twitch, get in the comment section and give me a rating out of 10. How would you rank our season at Brighton? I can imagine it's going to be mixed reviews, I'd say. And lastly, of course, if you want to see this save play out live, you can do so by heading down to the description, clicking the link, which is twitch.tv/m_breezy. Hit the follow button and yeah, tune in when we're next live. The day this is uploaded, which will be a Sunday, I'll be live this evening at 9 o'clock. So absolutely come in, check out the stream, hang out with us for the evening. It's loads of fun. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. So, Season 4, our first full season in charge of a club so far in this save, which that's a record low, if I'm being completely honest. So, as you can see then, once all was said and done, after 38 games, we finished the lofty heights of 12th. 2 places better than what we finished last season, and according to a news article that I got, it was actually Brighton Hove Albion's best ever finish in the Premier League. So, you know, I don't want to get too carried away or anything, but I mean, when is my statue being built outside the MX? But yeah, all things considered, I'd say it was a very mixed season. Quite a few ups, quite a few downs, and a 12th place finish, if I'm going to be brutally honest, given the transfer window we had, which we'll jump into in a second. I'm a little bit disappointed, if I'm being completely honest. I expected us to finish, or hoped rather, we finished in this sort of 8th, 9th, 10th spot in the table. We mentioned the transfers. Let's go through this. Well, not just the summer window, we also made some acquisitions in January as well. So let's go through all the new faces that we brought into the club and some of the players that we said goodbye to. So in terms of notable outs then, Steven Alzate and Eva Nilsson both went to Wolverhampton Wanderers for a combined fee of £32 million, and Adam Webster went off to Burnley for 2.5 million, which is they are generally really the only real notable outs. There's not really anyone else on this list that's really worth talking about in terms of who we let go in the summer. The ins though, that's where it gets interesting. So our first signing of the summer window was Francisco Conceição. I'm not entirely sure about the pronunciation, I do apologise, but we got him in from Porto for a fee of around £19.5 million. On paper, really good winger. 22 years of age. I managed Porto in the previous save over on Twitch, and I loved this guy. I thought he was fantastic, so I thought he'd be perfect for that right-hand side of midfield in this Brighton system. You see he's got the pace, the flair, the dribbling ability. Like, he's, you know, really, on paper, again, he's got everything that you want in a winger. In terms of his league season, not outstanding. 4 goals, 5 assists in 28 appearances total, and a 6.71 average rating. It's not great, admittedly, for one of your big star players. However, I think because he's got age on his side, we are going to give him another chance going into next season. But I think if he has a similar season to this most recent one, next year, we'll probably look to move him on. Next in then, and this is going to be difficult for me to say, quite literally, because I struggle every time I try to pronounce his name. Andrew Omabamidele. I think I've nailed that first time. Let's go. Well, he brought him in from Norwich City, who were relegated in the previous season. £8.5 million to come in. You know, he's only made 3 appearances. We'll talk about that in a second. Carrying on then, another centre-back addition, Mukta Diakabi, came in from Bayern Munich for a fee of £16 million, which when you look at this man, is a bit of a bargain. 6'4", incredible jumping reach, really strong. Again, mentals, pretty much all of his mentals are fantastic. Not many there under 14, and his technicals are absolutely fantastic as well. 3 goals in 34 and a 7.02 average rating for a centre-back. Really happy with that. I'm a big fan of this guy. And next in then was Adam Plozek on a free transfer from Sparta Prague. Annoyingly, again, you can see 8 starts, 5 sub appearances. He did not get a work permit initially, so we had to loan him out to Vallecano for the first 6 months of the season, but we made sure we put that option to recall him, which thankfully he went off to Spain for a little bit on a little holiday, got a work permit, and we were able to get him back in January. And yeah, at 20, again, you notice a bit of a theme here. We're bringing the average age of the squad down considerably. At 22, I think he's a good age. He's not admittedly developed as much as I've seen him in other saves, but I think as a squad option, as someone who can play on the left-hand side, someone who can play on the right, or as up front as a striker, I like versatility in squad players. Someone who can come in, if they're on the bench but we got injuries, they can come in and fill a number of roles. Albert Lokonga, who was here on loan last season, we brought him in permanently this time for a fee of around £11.5 million. Just a really good central midfield option in there with the likes of Yusuf Basuma and another midfield that we ended up bringing in, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, Lokonga had a pretty solid season with us. Wasn't starting most of the games. It was only 10 starts, 17 appearances off the bench, and just a 1 goal in the league, a 6.74 average rating. He could have been a little bit better for us, admittedly. I think whenever he did play and got his opportunity, I don't think he ever really grasped it. But as a squad player, pretty good. Like, for the fee, 11.5 million, can't really complain with this one. Right then, this is the big one of the summer. Arguably the biggest deal we made all season. Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa on 85 grand a week for a whopping £45 million. Again, you'll notice the appearances, not as many as you probably would have thought. 25 in total, 8 goals, 2 assists. I will say he did play a large majority of the season as a left inside forward on that left-hand side. It was only towards the end of the season we gave him some running games up front, and annoyingly, that's where most of his goals came from. I don't think he rarely scored or even got many assists on that left-hand side. But given where Brighton were at the time, this sort of like lower half aiming to be a mid-table side, I thought Ollie Watkins was one of the better players we could have got for. Gets injured a lot. More on that later. Sam Johnston just quickly was brought in as a backup goalkeeper to Justin Bijlow. Still not entirely sure how to pronounce it. Apologies. He played 1 game and conceded 5 in the Premier League. 6.5 average rating. He didn't play again after that. Dropped a stinker. Oh my God. How are we 5-2 down? By the way, speaking of players who've been Johnston hasn't saved a thing all game. Just comes in and just lets everything go past him. We mentioned there was another midfielder that Lokonga was battling with, and that was Jeffrey Kondogbia. He was on the transfer list from Atletico Madrid for just 18.5 million, and the way our midfield was set up, I thought he would be absolutely perfect to go alongside Yves Bissouma and Alexis McAllister. 6.75 average rating overall. Played 37 times this season. A little bit underwhelming, if I'm being completely honest, from Kondogbia, but I still think, I think I play him in the wrong role. Looking at it now, I think playing him as a ball-winning midfielder, despite the fact he's listed there as one of his better roles to play in that central midfield park, I think he's got everything to be a really good box-to-box, and I probably should have played him as that, but at the start of the season, we didn't have that role in the team, basically. But again, we'll talk about, I'll show you what I mean exactly when we go into the tactics screen in a second. And that pretty much was all the summer business that we did. I will quickly run you through some of the times we brought in. I completely forgot about Rodrigo Pereira. He's a young regen that we brought in for not a lot of money, £1.8 million from Famalicão, I believe, from Portugal. As you can see, interesting little player. Got a little room to develop still. I need to give him game time going into the newest season we're about to do. We haven't started the new season yet. He got 1 sub appearance off the bench in the FA Cup. I need to make a decision when I'm going to loan him out to get game time, or I'm actually going to give him game time myself. I'm still not entirely certain. Now, the more I think about it, the more I think a loan move might make more sense. Following that, there was only then 2 acquisitions in the January. Luis Felipe signed from Manchester United for £47 million on 65 grand a week. Now, if you've watched my streams before, and you're a watcher, even if you're on the YouTube channel before, you'd have seen that I had Luis Felipe in a West Ham save on FM21. It's safe to say he is solely responsible for me not winning a league title with West Ham in that save. But yeah, look, I'm all about second chances. It's a new game. It's been well over a year since that instance, so I'm happy to bring him to Brighton. And can you blame me? Look at the absolute state of him. Him and Diakabi as a centre-back pairing should be ridiculous for us. Yes, his composure and decision-making isn't fantastic, but everything else is superb. And he's quite comfortably the best centre-back we got at the club. And he came in and was absolutely fantastic for us. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do with a full season under his belt. So welcome, Luis Felipe. And finally, we actually brought someone in from our old club, Southampton, Ebere Eze. Now, which is great for us, because normally, start the game, he plays for Crystal Palace. One of the rules of the save is you can't sign anyone from a direct rival. But he wasn't at Palace, he was at Southampton. I'll say now, we had a bit of an injury crisis throughout this season. And I brought Ebere Eze in because he can play about 6 different roles. And I just needed cover. I needed someone who can play on the right, down the middle, on the left, and even in central midfield if we need him to. And Ebere Eze ticks all those roles. And I just really like him. I think he's a great player. And going into next season, he's someone I'm very happy to have on the books. Tactics-wise, at the start of the season, I was playing something pretty much like this. It was a 4-3-3. Which at the start of the season was looking quite good for us. And then results started to dip, so we changed it up a little bit. I think we decided, especially for home games, we need to be a little bit more, try and play the game as if you're the favourites, basically. That was the attitude. Be a little bit more attacking, be a little bit more adventurous, and basically, I figured pushing McAllister up was going to give us that opportunity to do so. As the season went on, however, let's just talk about it. So as you can see, we got to it was a rough start in terms of fixtures. We led against Manchester City in the first game. Looked at Diakabi on his debut, but obviously City being City pegged us back and ended up winning 3-1. However, we followed up with a fantastic 2-1 home win against Arsenal. Diakabi again getting amongst the goals. And then after that, a few disappointing draws against Leeds, Bournemouth, and got an absolute battering off of Newcastle. Then a decent run of form, 1-0 home win against Brentford, following by a really disappointing 3-0 defeat to Southampton before beating Fulham and Manchester United, and then the run continued with draws against Everton, Tottenham, Stoke, Burnley, Villa, and West Ham. And it was at this point I'm thinking we've cracked it. We're that 4-2-3-1 system that we spoke about was working fantastically well for us, and we were looking really, really good. Then the Palace game happened, and looking back at this is where things started to change. Actually, before I go any further, I've just remembered, I can't believe I've glossed over this. I mentioned that 3-0 defeat against Southampton. You'll notice there that Lewis Dunk and Andrew Omobamidele, again, smashing it first time, both with red injuries next to them. Just roll the clip. Right. Oh, Dunk's broken his leg. Yep, same game, both centre-backs, both of them got a broken leg, out for the season. Never happened before to me in FM. I doubt it'll ever happen again. So following that game with both Dunk and Omobamidele, I should say Omobamidele came in to partner Mukta Diakabi after a few games because Leo Ostigard had a really terrible start to the season. In this little run, Omobamidele was looking fantastic. Like, he played brilliantly in the last few games, had a great game against Brentford, and then got that broken leg against Southampton, which meant Ostigard had to come back in alongside Diakabi. I should mention as well, Ostigard ended up being sold in January to make room for Lewis Felipe. He went off to Dortmund, £15 million. He never got clicking for me. I was happy to sit the back of him. But yeah, so that draw against Crystal Palace, which was an absolute barnstorm, by the way. Went 2-0 down after 18 minutes, got it back to 3-2 with Benjamin Sesko hat-trick before Jean-Philippe Mateta completed his own hat-trick and it ended up being 3-3. Absolute barnstorm of a game. Following that, though, we had probably the hardest run of the season. Chelsea, Liverpool, City and Arsenal back-to-back, and we got absolutely hammered. 3-0 away at Chelsea, 5-0 at home to Liverpool, 2-0 at home to Manchester City, and 5-1 away at Arsenal. In this game, I think Diakabi was suspended for 2 games. I had to play Hayden Roberts, who's a young centre-back, 23, someone who come from the academy. Not that great, I'm sure you'll agree. And youngster Lee Kavanagh, who ended up being loaned out to Kilmarnock. But the situation was so desperate. Obviously, Dunk, Omobamidele out injured for the rest of the season. Ostigard, I think, was in... No, sorry, that was it. I was right. Ostigard and Diakabi both suspended. Couldn't play. The injury crisis was that bad. And then following that run, like, we picked things up a little bit. Like, we got a win against Leeds, and then started losing more games, like Newcastle. Southampton beat us fairly comfortably. Then, you know, got a couple of results against Brentford and Fulham. And then March was rough. March, Everton, Man United, Tottenham all absolutely battered us, like 4-0, 4-1, 3-0 respectively. We looked like a team that had completely forgotten how to play football, and I was getting flashbacks of our time against Southampton. We made the decision to switch to a 5-3-2. Yeah, this is what we switched to try and stop the rut, basically. It was like we're shipping too many goals and we can't score or create chances. I'm making us very defensive and sticking 2 strikers up top. And it mostly worked, to be fair. We beat Southampton in the FA Cup quite convincingly. Nearly beat Liverpool. This is heartbreaking. 2-1 up, 4 minutes to go. Mariba makes it 2-2 and they go on to win it in extra time. Before we beat Burnley 1-0 away. And then I thought to myself, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing a back 5 system because next year, if we want to level up, I don't think it's sustainable. I think we need to have a more attacking system. So this then is the tactic that I use with my West Ham save at the start of the year on the beta, and I've also got a new West Ham save that I've been playing for a few months off, you know, away from YouTube or Twitch as well. And I've used this tactic in both those saves, and it's been brilliant. And I believe, looking at the squad, we've got the players to make this work. Since switching to that, we went on a pretty decent run towards the end of the season. Stoke, Villa, Palace all beaten comfortably. We would have beaten West Ham, but Consecao got another red card and they scored with, you know, 2 goals, 6 minutes left. Annoying. Before a goalless draw against Leicester. So, and we switched back to the back 5 for the games against Liverpool and Chelsea just because we knew we were going to lose anyway, and we figured this might give us a better chance of getting maybe a point out of one of those games. By the way, the Liverpool game, one of the goals that Liverpool scored, I think it was Dybala's 2nd goal, I think it might be. The biggest cock-up ever from Bijlow. Like, again, I'll run the clip, but it's generally some of the best goalkeeping you'll ever see on FM. If we do take the lead, we'll enjoy it for the brief moment of time. That right there, viewers. That right there. I love that from I love the fact Bijlow dived. I love the fact Bijlow dived once the ball hit the back of the net. So yeah, there you have it. That's the season. I'm sure you'll agree. Very up and down. As I said, moments of really good form and getting some runs of wins together, followed by just horrendous form where we couldn't buy a win, and then getting back to winning ways again. So very inconsistent, very up and down. Again, I think the amount of injuries we were getting, like there were periods where I think we had both centre-backs missing, Ollie Watkins missing. I think Basuma wasn't very fit or as well. I think that's it, yeah, Basuma went to AFCON in January as well, so that didn't help matters. We were just struggling to put a team out most games, and obviously there's no real option to postpone due to injuries in FM this year, you know, unlike there is in real life. So not to make too many excuses, but I definitely think not being able to have a consistent starting 11 on a regular basis definitely impacted our chances of getting a consistent run of form together, which obviously makes sense. That is why I sort of hit that point after we beat Burnley, and I'll be completely honest, we shouldn't have beaten Burnley. Like, we were playing that back 5. Burnley were the better team, and we nicked a goal on the counter-attack and hold out for a 1-0 win. And I just thought to myself, that can't be the approach going into next season. If we want to level up with Brighton and start winning some silverware and start trying to build ourselves up to match the career of Alex Ferguson, like is the point of the challenge, we have to start becoming a better footballing side and starting dominating games. And I just know from experience, that tactic that I've been using in those West Ham saves, I know that I've got the players good enough to execute it in this Brighton side. I know now what players I want to bring in to play certain roles in that system. I'm a big believer, if you've got a plan in mind and you bring players in to fit the system you want to play, then you've got every chance of being successful with it. So that's the plan going into next season. I'm going to say this now, in this video, my aim for next season I'm going for a European push. I want Europa League or Europa Conference League. I want to push for that sort of top 7. So 8th, I'll take 8th if we finish that. But ideally, 5th, 6th, or 7th, that is the position on the table I want us to be finishing in next season. Of course, if you want to find out if my goal for next season is achieved, then you'll have to wait for the next update, or alternatively, come and watch it all unfold live. Once again, the link is in the description to come and hang out on the stream. Again, the day it's uploaded will be a Sunday, so I'll be streaming at 9 o'clock this evening. Jump in, see how we get on, see what signings I make, and yeah, have some fun along the way, because like I keep saying, the streams, they're a great laugh, and I'm sure you'll enjoy them. Until the next video then, ladies and gentlemen, my name, of course, has been Breezy. Thank you, as always, for watching. And again, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the video whilst here as well. Remember, don't forget to get in the comment section and rate this season out of 10. I won't be mad if you give me a low score, because to be honest, it was pretty underwhelming, if we're being honest. But until the next video, ladies and gentlemen, whether it be at Derby or another update one of these, or in a stream, I will see you soon. And yeah, look after yourselves, stay safe, see you later. Bye-bye.